Thanks for joining us. I'm David Bradley. Rob Nosenchuk is my brother-in-law, but I don't care what the law says. Rob Nosenchuk is my brother, and I'm honored to be helping host this event. 20 years ago this week, I got to celebrate with Rob and watch him be ordained as a rabbi. I can't wait to see what we get to celebrate 20 years from now. I'm going to hold the week of May 20th in 2041. We're gathering from all over the country right now, and go ahead and put in the chat if you haven't yet where you're coming from already. We see lots of Rob's hometowns checking in, the Cleveland area, Reston, Virginia, Maryland, Detroit. There's Seattle, Washington, there's Newton, Massachusetts, there's Florida, there's the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We've got Aptos, California checking in. Lots of Philadelphia, San Francisco. We are gathering from all over. This is a big embrace of Rob, of his family, and of the Cleveland Clinic and all they have done and are going to do. And it's really great to be with everybody and celebrate Rob's arrival on the other side of 2 years of cancer treatments, and to look ahead with optimism, not just for Rob's journey, but also for the fantastic and innovative work being done at the Cleveland Clinic to fight melanoma. Over the next hour, we're going to hear about Rob's story. We're going to meet those who've been by his side and led his care, and we're going to enjoy some inspiring live music. It's great to have live music in the house to lift us up as part of this. So many people have given gifts already in support of Rob's fundraising initiative for melanoma research. We're going to hear about what that initial research is going to support. Rob's fundraising and melanoma awareness updates are going to be able to be found at a site that we're going to put in the chat, and I think we're going to screen share right now so that we can take a look at the site, and you can all be familiar. As you can see, we have already raised, Rob has already raised more than $46,000, $46,314. This site's going to continue to accept more donations today and in the coming weeks. It's all going to go to build capacity for research that saves lives and improves the quality of lives of those who've been touched by melanoma. It's fabulous to gather, to do that, to be able to do that. A word about my shirt, which has these words, "more life," written across it. As Rob and my family know, it's a favorite saying. It's a way you can translate the Hebrew word for blessing. And it's a recurring motif in the beautiful play, Angels in America. What else could I wear today? It truly represents the way Rob and Joni and their kids, Hope and Zachary, live their lives and have lived especially over the past 2 years. And it's a blessing we all want to celebrate and keep bestowing into the future. I'm really glad to be hosting this event along with Jamie Light, who's joining from the Cleveland area. Jamie considers herself to hold Rob and Joni as dear friends and chosen family. And we consider ourselves lucky that she's going to be our behind the scenes whiz tonight, having become a Zoom expert over the past year, having hosted more than 150 live Zoom events as director of conferences and events for the Harold Grinspoon Foundation in Massachusetts. That is a heck of a lot of Zoom events to have had to put together, and keep your fingers crossed that the technological gods stay kind, because we all know that with Zoom and technology, anything can happen, but we also know we are in great hands today with Jamie. So Jamie, thanks for being with us and welcome.
Thank you, David. I am so thrilled to be here, so thrilled to be able to welcome all of you. If I were hosting you in my home, I would welcome you with a big hug, make sure that you knew where the bathroom was, and offer you a drink. Since I can't do that, I am using these remarks as just an opportunity to give you a welcome, to show you who I am, let you see my face so that you know who to go to if you need help. You'll see that I've got a little asterisk by my name, which means that I should pop up first in your chat if you have any questions. So I know that many of us have been on Zoom for the past 15 months. But there are people who still are new to Zoom. So I just want to orient you to your screen. So the bottom of your screen is your Zoom toolbar. If you don't see it, just kind of scroll your mouse over the bottom of the screen and it will pop up. you all are going to stay on mute for most of tonight's event. We want to make sure that our speakers and our musical guests have the sound and that everyone can hear them and see them. So we're going to keep everyone on mute until the very end. When it's time to unmute, I will allow everyone to unmute, and you will be able to just click that microphone if you want to mute or unmute yourself. We are recording, so if you want to not be on the recording, please just turn off your camera, and that will make sure that you're not on the recording. Next to that video, if you keep going to the right, then you will see the chat box button. And so there are times when we'll ask you to type something into the chat, and that's also how you can reach out to me if you have questions or need anything. At the top of your screen, the view button, you'll see that there's two different kinds of view. You can do gallery view, which will give you an opportunity to just have lots of small faces and see lots of people on the screen. Or you can do speaker view, which will give you the opportunity to have the speaker large and then have everybody else small on your screen. And as David said, as prepared as we are, things happen on Zoom. So someone's internet may get spotty. We may lose power. We could have one of our speakers lose sound. So just bear with us. We will make sure that we hear from everyone tonight and that we get to celebrate Rob and provide education and provide opportunity for you all to learn more about melanoma and the research that Dr. Funchain is doing and your opportunity to support that work. So thank you all for being here. We hope you have a really meaningful evening, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Thanks so much. David, back to you.
Thanks so much, Jamie. Thanks for taking such good technological care of us. We're now delighted to welcome for some music to get us really rolling the fabulous recording artist, Alan Goodis, longtime friend of Joni and Rob and Zachary and Hope. Alan's coming to us from Chicago, where he's based, but he tours the country as a musician. Some of you might know him from when he joined his friend Hope as an artist in residence and guest musician at her bar mitzvah in May of 2019. He inspired the whole Temple community that weekend. He added so much to the celebration. In Philly, at least this weekend, the weather feels like summer, and so this is the moment when we get to shout out summer camp. The Berger Nosenchucks met Alan while they were working together to support Jewish summer camps and youth programs, which have been a huge part of Alan's life and Rob and Zachary and Hope's life. And Joni loves to say that she married into Jewish summer camp, and it's now become something that means an awful lot to her. You can check out alangoodis.com, and Jamie's going to put that website into the chat so that you can copy that, so that you can find his fabulous music and learn how to bring Alan to his community. Alan, thank you so much for being with us, and welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It's an honor to be here. This first song is inspired by Psalm 121, which says, "I lift my eyes to the mountain, and I ask, where will my help come from?" And King David teaches us that our help comes from God, maker of heaven and earth. I look up, you're not there. I'm not ready, I'm not prepared. I need strength to climb. I reach and still I find that I'm weak and I'm scared. Esainai el Harim, me'ayin yavo Israel. Esainai el Harim, me'ayin yavo Israel. I need rest, I can't sleep. Awake and still I grieve. So if I fall out of reach, don't leave me be. Esainai el Harim, me'ayin yavo Israel. Esainai el Harim, Me'ayin yavo Ezri. Where is my joy when the world's turned dark? Where is my faith when I am torn apart? Where is my strength till the pain subsides? Where is the light when I can't realize? Let rest be upon me. Let peace be with me. Let rest be upon me tonight. No one deserves to be forgotten. No one deserves to fade away. No one should come and go and have no one know that it matters that they are here. No one deserves to disappear. Disappear. To disappear. Disappear. To disappear. Esainai el Hearim. Me'ayin yavo Ezri. 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 Oh, next song I want to share. Both these songs I'm singing to me speak to this idea of journeys and thinking about many journeys we go on. Maybe begin in a familiar place and take us on some twists and turns, and perhaps we end up somewhere we were expecting or somewhere we were not expecting, and yet we still have the destination we reach, and we have the experience of the journey that we went on. This song is a story song, and this is inspired by the story of the Jewish people's exodus from Egypt. This moment where the familiar for them was slavery, and that the journey was crossing the water to reach the other side to what they believed was the promised land. And thinking about that moment in our Jewish people's tradition, and a rabbi friend of mine shared with me this teaching by Abraham Joshua Heschel, where he talks about awe and fear. And Heschel describes awe as the sense of wonder and humility inspired by the sublime or felt in the presence of mystery. And then he describes fear as the anticipation and expectation of evil or pain. That's a little highbrow. The other way to explain this might be awe, imagining yourself standing and looking out at something majestic like the Grand Canyon. And all you can see is this amazing nature, and looking around and thinking, my goodness, this could only come from something greater than me. And then in the exact same moment, standing in that exact same spot as you gaze across the landscape, that's the awe. And the fear is in that same moment, stopping and looking down at your feet and realizing how close you are to the edge and knowing how fragile that moment might be. So this song is telling the story of our people's journey and this belief and faith and intuition and understanding that what was waiting for them on the other side of a difficult journey was something better. I stood so close to the water, and I could not see the other side. There was salt in the breeze, my knees rustled like leaves. There's no way I'm gonna get to you. Awe and fear both got me over here. I'm leaving now to get to you tonight. There was no mistaking, I was escaping. You could not stop me if you tried. The walls were climbing like spirits rising. I'm halfway through, I just might get to you. Awe and fear both got me into here. I've gotta move to get to you tonight. And I gotta get through if I'm gonna get to you. Oh, I gotta get through if I'm gonna get to you, get to you. I can't forgive the sins, forget my past. There's no turning back, I've got nowhere to turn. With the tide descending, I'll meet my ending. I guess I'm home, I guess we're home. Awe and fear both got me over here. I had no doubt I'd get to you tonight. And I gotta get through if I'm gonna get to you. Oh, I gotta get through if I'm gonna get to you. Oh, I gotta get through if I'm gonna get to you. Oh, I gotta get through if I'm gonna get to you, get to you. So David mentioned as we began today that 2 years ago, it feels like exactly 2 years ago, many of us were gathered at Fairmont Temple to celebrate Hope's bat mitzvah. And I was beyond honored to have received the invitation from Rob and Joni and Z and Hope to be there to help, I guess, shepherd in Hope as a bat mitzvah. And you know, those of us who know Rob know that Rob is a guy who is a wonderful friend and just in many ways the definition of a mensch. And he is one who always does for others. And he is one who also wears his heart on his sleeve. And so in our planning for Hope's bat mitzvah, we had a couple of phone calls to talk about what melodies are we going to sing for this and what can we do that would be special. You know, January, February, March, I feel like every call we had, Rob just kept saying, he's like, I'm going to be there as dad, and I'm going to be sitting in the second or third row, and I'm just going to be a puddle. I just want to let you know I'm going to be a puddle. So that was my expectation. And then Shabbat morning rolled around at Fairmont Temple, and there I stood on the bima with Hope and with Rabbi Caruso and with Cantor Sager, and we got to all witness Hope doing her thing and just being completely amazing. And I gazed out at the congregation, and as promised, there was my friend Rob as a puddle. Little did I know that Rob, shortly before that, had received a diagnosis, which I don't think any of us knew about. And so for me, my experience that day was watching a man and a father who I admire tremendously and who I look up to in many ways in that regard. And just the comfort to be there and wear his heart on his sleeve and to show that joy and emotion and seeing one of his kids become a bat mitzvah. And I thought I was projecting, perhaps. And then when Rob soon after shared his diagnosis with me, I started to see things differently for a moment. And then it was actually, Rob, a conversation we had a couple weeks ago, which you shared with me. You were like, no, no, no. That was one of the best days of my life. And so the joy of that moment, in spite of the challenges that you were beginning and the journey that you had just started on, uh, really led us here to this moment. And gazing at you right now through the little green light on this Zoom screen, I feel so connected to you and to your family. And I'm so glad that we can all be here and continue to be inspired by you and your selflessness in taking your experience these last couple years and still turning to others and saying, well, how can I use this moment and my blessings to raise awareness and raise a lot of money for this wonderful cause. So honored to be with you.
Oh, Alan, thank you. Shit, I'm a puddle now. I remember that day. It was an awesome day. Hearing you and Hope lead the community was just magnificent. Now, by the next day, I was in the hospital for a few days. And along the road from there to here, there's been a few more times where I had to be in the hospital. But I'm standing here right now, and I'm so grateful to see so many people from different corners of my life, from the community who've helped me. So many of you. But right now, I'm also thinking about friends of mine who didn't make it these last couple of years. I bet of the, looks like 180 different participants, we're all thinking and reflecting on some of the people in our lives, in our communities, who've been touched by cancer. And now they're but our imagination and our memory. I'm inviting you now, if you can, if you wish, to add to the chat box as Alan sings the name of someone who you're reflecting on, who you're remembering, who you're hoping that we can help respond to cancer with a big blow of research. Go ahead when you're ready.
Shadows are falling and I'm running out of breath. Keep me in your heart for a while. If I leave you, it doesn't mean I love you any less. Keep me in your heart for a while. When you get up in the morning and you see that crazy sun, keep me in your heart for a while. There's a train leaving nightly called when all is said and done. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sometimes when you're doing simple things around the house, maybe you'll think of me and smile. You know I'm tied to you like the buttons on your blouse. Keep me in your heart for a while. Hold me in your thoughts and take me to your dreams, and touch me as I fall in view. When the winter comes, keep the fires lit, and I will be right next to you. Engine drivers headed north to Pleasant Stream, keep me in your heart for a while. These wheels keep on turning, but they're running out of steam. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha la 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 la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Shadows are falling and I'm running out of breath. Keep me in your heart for a while. If I leave you, it doesn't mean I love you any less. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha la 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 la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha la 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 la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Keep me in your heart for a while. Keep me in your heart for a while.
Thank you, Alan. As always, you bring such heart and soul and spirit to your music. And we just are so grateful to have had you share your gifts with us today. I now have the privilege of sharing a very special film with everyone. Steve Hacker and Stephen Hacker Films has created a film of Rob's story that we wanted to share with all of you tonight.
On April 5th of 2019, I woke up with abdominal pain. And I did what many people do at such a time. I blew it off, but it remained through the day and night. The next morning, my wife, Joni, told me that if I wasn't feeling any better by that afternoon, I should go to the Cleveland Clinic Express Care, who, based on my symptoms, advised me to go to the emergency room. I wasn't inclined to go, but it's a miracle that I did. Turns out that the pain I was experiencing would have gone away with a couple of days of Aleve. But the ER doc at the clinic pointed on the scan toward the other side of my abdomen and said, but this is something I should get checked out. In other words, the abdominal pain I was experiencing got me to the clinic, but it was the thorough scans they ran that revealed something that I did not have any idea was on the horizon. In the ensuing days and weeks, a battery of tests were run on my blood and checks for lymphoma and testicular cancer. Both were negative, and so a needle biopsy was ordered at the Cleveland Clinic. This revealed to me on April 30th of 2019, at the age of 49, that I had stage 4 metastatic melanoma, an aggressive skin cancer that had already metastasized into my abdomen. Now, I told the doctor that I had my bags literally packed in the trunk of my car and that I was traveling to Israel in a few hours to lead a few dozen members of my synagogue on a 2-week trip. And I told her that my daughter's bat mitzvah was just about 10 days after the trip, so I wouldn't want to do any treatments before that milestone in our family life. At that point, my oncologist, Dr. Pauline Funchain, the head of the clinic's melanoma oncology program, waited for me to finish my little pre-prepared speech. And then she patiently, compassionately, carefully explained to me the severity of my diagnosis. She shared how quickly melanoma cells grow when untreated and how bleak previous treatments such as chemo have been when trying to arrest melanoma when it has already metastasized. She conveyed to me her confidence that with treatment, I could slow or even stop the growth of this metastasis, and she gave to me the materials to describe the type of treatment I would absolutely need in order to survive in the near and potentially long term. She spent as much time with us as needed, and then her team scheduled the proper scans for the hours after I'd arrive home to Cleveland in mid-May. And that as soon as she could verify the scale of my fight, I was going to begin immunotherapy treatment, a cutting-edge technique for fighting melanoma that involves using one's own body's T cells to go to war with your cancer. And on the day before I left Israel, I made my way privately to the western wall of the ancient temple in Jerusalem, where I thought I might honestly never have the opportunity to visit again. And there I wept and prayed with every living energy inside me for my life, for my family, for my oncologist and her team. And then I returned back to my hotel and went to the airport to get back here for the fight of my life. Anyone who has ever received a diagnosis like mine will tell you that the moments you're told you have a deadly form of cancer and that you're in a fight for your life, these moments, they mark a permanent before and a permanent after in your life. I'd always checked my skin a couple times a year with my dermatologist. No melanoma lesion had ever been found. I'm the kind of man who takes good care of my health and who treats the other health issues as they arise. I wasn't even 50 yet, and I hadn't seen this coming. But I will tell you that in the care of Dr. Funchain and her team and the range of specialists that I'd need to treat multiple side effects, and the thoughtful and caring treatment nurses at the Tausig Cancer Care Institute, the researchers whose persistence awakened just a few years ago this entire field of immunotherapy, I had then and I have now all the expertise, all the compassion, all the nurturing with the range of healthcare professionals I've encountered there, the researchers behind the scenes who continue to study this growing field.
The care that Rob has gotten at the Cleveland Clinic is, it's hard to describe how much that has bolstered us during this last 2 years. It's an example. One of his providers said to him, "I see you're coming 2 days next week. Should we consolidate it so you can only come 1 day? Because that might be too tiring for you." And I remember that you said to her, "I feel such care when I walk into this whole institution. I am so supported when I'm here. And I can just let go and be supported by your care. And if I can do that twice in a week for 2 half days versus 1 full day, I'll come in and feel that care." And I'm just so struck by the way the Cleveland Clinic team cares for you. I mean, I have never experienced this in healthcare before, that you think one doctor, you say, well, have them call another. You ask them to call somebody. Everything happens behind the scenes where they all group together when things were scary, where we didn't know what the next course in your treatment would be. And all of Rob's providers behind the scenes conference and together come up with a solution they think that moves Rob forward on all fronts. And that kind of care, I can't imagine going through this process without a place like the Cleveland Clinic.
I'm sobered by the fact that immunotherapy is new enough that studies can't even give me clarity on how long I can survive past the next 3 to 5 years. But I'm here due to the incredible love of my family and the intentions in which I've been held by my community, and due to the persistence and commitment and expertise of some of the very best doctors in the world. I'm here, still fighting, and I will never give up, not for me and not for anyone.
It's very much a team effort here. So I personally work on the infusion side. So we actually give the treatments, we do the lab work, we do all of the hands-on work for the most part. And Dr. Funchain, she's the brains behind the engine. And so she is giving us the orders, she's looking at the scans, she's explaining the process, and then we are, the worker bees that come in and make sure everything goes right. And I was so fortunate to have him here on my treatment floor. And unfortunately for him, he's had to spend 2 years with me. But it's a fortunate thing for me that I'm not of his faith, but I'm honored to say I have him as my rabbi. So he's been, it's really important to have him around.
I remember coming into this facility, the Tausig Cancer Care Center, for the first time just about 2 years ago. And I left so scared with the knowledge that the end of my life might be coming very soon if I didn't take action, if I didn't get into treatment, if I didn't get the resources and support that I needed. 2 years later, 24 treatments down, 2 surgeries, numerous times that I've been back and forth here. Now, I don't feel scared anymore. I feel buoyed, protected, supported, and held by the community, of course, but also by the incredible researchers, physicians, doctors, nurses, all the caregivers at every turn over the last couple of years have been there to support me in my journey to become a survivor. I don't know how many years I'll have ahead, returning for scans and lab work, keeping a watch on the cancer, being sure that I'm vigilant against melanoma. You search for meaning in it. And to me, I haven't found meaning in getting cancer, but I know that there's meaning in surviving it. I know it because I know we can raise awareness, we can raise funds for cutting edge melanoma immunotherapy research, and to support physicians like Dr. Pauline Funchain and her team in making such a huge difference as they have in my life and my life going forward. Thank you.
Huge thanks to Stephen Hacker for that inspiring video. Jamie's going to put Stephen's website in the chat so you can learn more about his work. In the spirit of more life, it's my pleasure to introduce someone now who's dedicated to that blessing. Dr. Pauline Funchain, as you just saw, is head of the Melanoma Oncology Program at the Tausig Cancer Care Institute of the Cleveland Clinic. She has led the team of physicians and caregivers and specialists managing Rob's care since he was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic melanoma in April 2019. Dr. Funchain grew up on the West Coast. She studied at Pomona College and then graduated from the Ohio State University Medical School. Her fellowships at Cleveland Clinic have included hematology, oncology, and cancer genomics. She's a highly respected physician and specialist in the field of high-risk skin cancer, who's published nearly 30 research works with more than 270 citations. Rob credits Dr. Funchain's confidence, her knowledge, and her expertise in immunotherapy as a form of treatment for melanoma for saving his life. Dr. Funchain, thank you for your dedicated leadership in the field, for your care of Rob, and for joining us today. Welcome.
Thank you for that introduction. I don't know if I can speak after that video, to be honest. It's just an honor to be here. So I got to say something funny or I'm going to start crying. I came here to talk about research, but I also came here to remind Rob that sports teams exist outside of Detroit. And they also make clothing and shoes. But really, so many of you are wondering what Rob wants to fund. And so I'd like to talk about that for a little bit. But before I do that, I do have to talk to all of you who are on the screens here. I myself am totally overwhelmed by being here, and that this is how he wanted to celebrate this moment and this milestone. But I think for all of us to be able to take time to pause, to celebrate, and give a really important moment its due respect, that part's really special. And, you know, people will talk about mindfulness, they'll talk about gratitude. This is it. This is it right here. And all of us, I think, have been through some kind of a year, and all of those names that everyone shared, I know there are beautiful lives behind all of those names. And we have lost them. They are special. But today we are here and can be grateful for that. And we are especially grateful that Rob is here. And that's what we'd like to celebrate. But I want to thank all of you here, because all of you, whether your screens are on or off, you are here and you show support for Rob. And I have to acknowledge each and every one of you, because this type of journey is not done alone. And I'm sure that each and every one of you have contributed something, even if you didn't think you had. I'm sure there are moments that Rob felt that you even had no idea about. So thank you all for being here. You help his life, you know, and as a cancer doctor, you help my job, because support makes cancer better. So thank you, everyone. So medically speaking, what got Rob here? I have to acknowledge that there is a huge team. You saw a couple of people. Liz, thank you for all you do for us. She's put up with a lot from us. She means it when she means marching orders, but she also keeps us straight. So she is one of many, many blazingly talented, amazing, and caring, extraordinarily caring nurses, doctors, so many doctors who have been involved, and a handful of very talented surgeons who have been involved in Rob's care. And so being here to represent them is actually the second honor of my day here. So I'd like to represent them because they are all amazing. So you heard a little bit already about immunotherapy. So immunotherapy is the breakthrough probably of the last 10 years, if not going to be a century or half decade or something, in cancer. It is a completely new class of drugs, and we're learning how to use them. And they have done some great things. So in melanoma, for stage 4 melanoma, in 10 short years, they have increased 5-year survival 500%. 500%. So it's great, but we want to do better. And that's the stuff that we want to talk about here today. So I'm going to try to explain a little bit about why this is interesting, but I'll try not to make it too nerdy. Okay. So immunotherapy, you heard about this already. It takes the brakes off the immune system, and that makes it makes a person's own immune system get rid of cancer, which is wild. It's not a drug that goes in there and then kills all sorts of stuff you don't want it to kill. It literally harnesses a person's own immune system to have their own immune system go after the cancer. But it can cause a lot of side effects. And the care for those side effects have been really challenging because it's essentially a new class of disease. This is stuff we'd never seen before, didn't know how to treat. It looks a little bit like autoimmune diseases, but it's not exactly the same. So we've had to pull in a lot of different doctors to help us figure these things out. These immunotherapy related side effects can hit any organ of the body, and often they'll hit more than one. And I think Rob has said we can share. I mean, he has been hit in more than one place. He's just lucky that way. But the good thing about these side effects is that when they come, they're actually great data to show that they increase the chance for a good cancer outcome, and they increase survival. So Rob's gone through a lot. And what we think is that he's gone through a lot from these side effects. It's helped keep him here with us. And so these side effects are sort of part and parcel of treatment. And our whole goal is to try to study more about them. And this then becomes sort of a very Rob-driven project He's sort of our poster child for immunotherapy side effects. He's lived through a lot in these 2 years that I'm sure he doesn't always talk about. But these side effects, they can hit everything. So for those of you who might have family members who go through this, just so that you've heard it, I mean, they can go from hormonal issues like thyroid dysfunction or adrenal dysfunction. They can cause inflammation in liver, in joints, in intestines. It can cause rashes or itchiness or brain fog. We hear a lot, and those things are very challenging. And some of them are long lasting. So we're starting to understand that in survivors, which we hope to see more and more of, and are seeing more and more, 500% in melanoma, that these are problems that last a while, and we need to be ready to take care of them. And what's great about working at the Cleveland Clinic is that we happen to have some of the world's sort of international experts on inflammation. And we have harnessed all of this medical knowledge. And we actually were the first in the country to bring together a multidisciplinary tumor board for these immune-related side effects. We have rheumatologists, GI docs, endocrine, neurology, dermatology, you name it. We have almost every single doctor in this tumor board. And to get that many doctors, if any of you have ever met any of us in the medical field, we're a little hard to get a hold of, for better or worse. And to get this many doctors all in one place has been challenging, but amazing, amazing. And we were then also able to host the first international conference on these immunotherapy related side effects, and are really starting to get into the survivorship of these. So I think we're poised to really do some great things. We have been, I think we are, it's hard to, I guess we are leaders in the field nationally and internationally. We had 14 countries attend our second symposium this year, and it was really amazing. But as more people become cancer-free and survivors, we want to be able to support these people, including Rob. And we want to make these side effects more tolerable so that we can get immunotherapy to more people and save more lives. So this is a medical need that I think has a strong personal meaning for Rob. It's a need that we have in our entire cancer community. And actually for those of you who are Clevelanders or have ties to Cleveland, I think Cleveland already has its name on the map for many, many reasons, but I think that this actually could make us more Cleveland strong. And for those of you who like to be proud of Cleveland, this would be a really great effort. So let me close by saying thank you for having me here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for considering helping us research new ways to support people like Rob, for people who may walk this journey in the future. There's no one like Rob. Let's make that clear. But there are currently other people on this path. There will be people who will take the path he's taken, and there may be even people on this call. You never know what people are going through, but there are, I would bet, people on this call who have also walked or will walk the same path. So thank you for your generosity in thinking about these members of the community, as well as our beloved guest of honor.
Oh, Dr. Funchain, how am I supposed to find the words to ever possibly thank you and your team enough? The work that you do and the availability that you give to each patient is extraordinary. It's extraordinary. And like Joni said in the video, to be able to have at your disposal and at the ready so many specialists, so many caregivers, some of whom are on this call. I want to shout out Dr. Calabrese and so many others. 2 weeks from now, I'm doing Dr. Simon's wedding. In return, he took out my gallbladder. It's a new form of payment at the Cleveland Clinic. But Dr. Funchain, I know that as a team, this group, all of us, we can get behind you. We can be resourceful to you. We can spread the word about how do you prevent melanoma. We can spread the word about how immunotherapy can save lives. And that's what we're here to do, this entire team. And so before I turn the attention over to Chelsea Knowles, who will be speaking very briefly on behalf of the Cleveland Clinic Philanthropy Institute, I'd be remiss if I don't thank my team. Zachary Nosenchuk and Hope Nosenchuk, you have been the chief caregivers to me. Joni Berger, you absolutely send me and you hold me. And there are two anchors in that picture. And we're getting on the boat and we're going forward. Be it my honor now, before I completely fall apart, to call on Chelsea Knowles from the Cleveland Clinic Philanthropy Institute to tell you a little bit more about how you can support this effort.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you to all of you who've contributed or donated in some way. And really, honestly, a special thank you to Rob, to celebrate this milestone by giving back. It's because of people like you and people like who are other patients who want to give back that we are able to continue to advance this life-saving cancer research. We are able to continue to find new cures and new treatments. We're able to continue to let Dr. Funchain really, dive into her research and be able to come up with these ways to keep people living longer and better. And I can't thank you enough for that you hosting this, putting this together. Again, you should be celebrated in so many ways, and what you've done for this fundraiser is absolutely incredible. There are many different ways to give. I know that the link has been put in the chat. However, if there are other financial means that you would be interested in giving, I will put my personal information in the chat, or if you would like to even learn more about Dr. Funchain's research and how to support it outside of this fundraiser. I know that when Rob and I talked about this, we want this to be something that continues on, that, this is a link that he could use every single year to celebrate, his new birthday in so many ways. So, again, thank you so much to everyone. I'll have my information there. Happy to chat to anyone who's interested in learning more about how to give.
Hello, sorry, I'm having a little wobbly internet moment. I think it's because it's been pretty moving over the last 10 minutes, and maybe even my internet connection is kind of a bit of a puddle with all of this. But thank you very much, Chelsea. Thanks for sharing that information. And now I'm thrilled to welcome recording artist Ruth Gerson to put an exclamation point on this event. Several years back, I got to hear Ruth at Rob and Joni's house when they were living in Virginia, when Ruth did a house concert in honor of a special birthday of Joni, and I still remember the concert. Ruth's music can be found at ruthgerson.com, and Jamie will put that in the chat so that you can copy it and listen later. She's joining us from Northern California, where she lives with her family. Ruth's toured and opened for Dave Matthews, Jeff Buckley, Sarah McLachlan, the Indigo Girls, Jason Mraz, Raining Jane, among many others. And for a long time, Ruth's been teaching online group classes for voice. More than a decade ago, Ruth developed the Singing Belt, which you can check out at singingbelt.com to learn more about it. Ruth and Rob have known each other for more than 20 years. It's great to have you here, Ruth. Welcome and thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you so much. It's going to be a little hard to sing. I just want, sorry, it's a little hard to sing. I I just want Rob and Joni to know how much I love them and what they have meant to me, what they mean to me in my life and in my family's lives. And, you know, I met Rob first because he was my teacher. And I grew up in New York City and sort of Jewish, but not really knowing very much about being Jewish, and went on a journey exploring what that meant as I majored in Jewish existentialism in college. And then when I got out of college, I found myself in a lot of circles where I was supposed to know a lot of stuff that I didn't know. And I found my way to Rob's class, which I took twice because there was so much information in it. He let me take it twice. And from there, became friends with Rob and Joni, and just always seeing what Rob does in the world to give his whole heart to everyone. And they've just been incredible friends, as everybody here knows. So I wanted to play a couple songs, and when I asked Rob what to play, you know, I wanted to play some things that hopefully will make you smile. So hopefully this will make you smile. So this is an old song I wrote, but I think I remember Rob and Joni liking this, and as I practice it today for you guys. The only thing to know about this song is that it's a dialogue. So there are two people talking in this song, and so when I say I'm your promised land, I'm not the person talking. Give it his wisdom, give it his word, tell you the winsome ways of the world. Want you each morning to get up and pray. Don't worry for nothing, just doesn't pay. You'll find your way. Yes, you will. With your confident knowledge, your infinite skill. So don't be discouraged. You won't be refused. It's the way of the world. You gotta get used to it, dear. Have no fear. I'm the rod in your hand. I'm your comfort and constant. Baby, I'm your man. Have no fear of the one on his way, of the soul that gets saved. I'm your promised land. Well, accept what's given, a day at a time. Take it or leave it, just keep it in mind. In the dust there's a diamond. Trust in my name. I promise you'll find it and walk in shame. I'll always be close to you. No, I'll never let you down. Say you're looking for happiness. I'm It was a difficult birth. You did what you could. You could have done worse. In the ash, I see ashes, justifying dust. You turned your face, you left me across with that lost. Oh, my courage, and I can't find my way. You forgive my reluctance to keep up my faith. Have no fear, I'm right in your hand. I'm your comfort and constant. Baby, I'm your man. Have no fear of the one on his way, of the soul that gets sick. I'm your brownest land. I'm your brownest land. Is there anywhere to go from here? I'll play another song. I wanted to just make you smile. So hopefully this will do the trick. This is a song I wrote that I just was walking down the street in New York, and I saw a couple of people, and they were in a very intense life moment, and I didn't know them, but in that moment I felt like I knew them, and I just started to write this song, and then as I wrote it, it just went down a whole other path, and I just kind of followed it along. Oh, if you mind, I keep you from danger. Oh, if you mind, I'll never let you falter. No one will hear you crying if you mind, and never let you suffer. Oh, if you mind, I love you like a kid. Oh, if you mind, get have all you ever wanted. I always see you smiling in my mind. I give you everything. Oh, if you mind, I've never run a wonder. Oh, if you mind, I'd only give you the truth. Never wonder for some other lover. Be beside you, you are mine forever. I want you to shine, I want you to shine, shine. To remember, want to take you down, want to take you down. Oh, if you were mine, baby, more than if you were mine, angels would sing all the time. Always with a humble, I would be kind if you were mine. Never let you let you slide. I never let you falter. If you're mine, I never let you suffer. I never let you suffer. I never let you suffer. I can't see anyone. So I'm a little nervous. Oh, there you are.
Ruth, that was so beautiful, so amazing. I love the both of the songs and the joy and the celebration and the impact that you brought. So thank you so much for sharing those gifts with us. We are truly grateful. So we have put Ruth's website in the chat and Alan's website in the chat. We hope that you will continue to be blessed by the music that they share with all of us. I'm thrilled to also put the Rob's giving link back in the chat as well. It is amazing. Just tonight, watching the number go up and up and up. We are already over $52,000 raised, which is just an absolutely incredible amount, and the work that will enable Dr. Funchain and her team to do. I just encourage all of us to dig deep and to continue to support and continue to give. I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of Rob's caregivers, doctors, nurses, everyone who was part of his team taking care of him. And thank you to the Chuck Burgers, as we love to affectionately call them in our household, for letting us be part of your family and letting us share in this evening with all of you. Please continue to watch this link. Use this as an opportunity to give and to support, but then also just this is Rob's website now. So to stay in touch with Rob and Joni and their family, and he will be posting updates on his health and what's happening with research and all of that on that link. So bookmark it, save it, and again, thanks for letting me be part of tonight.
Thanks so much, Jamie, and thanks to Alan Goodis and Stephen Hacker and Dr. Pauline Funchain and Chelsea Knowles and Ruth Gerson for sharing your gifts with us today. I work with a lot of artists, and I think it's important to remember that medicine is an art. And in listening to Dr. Funchain and Liz Schreiber and hearing Rob talk about his care team, these are great artists because they have imagination, they have creativity, and they have the heart to make the world a better place. So thank you for your art and your humanity. And thanks to all of you for joining from around the country. We have people from about 15 states tonight. Thanks for joining for this celebration of life, of care, of vision, and of action. And thanks for supporting Rob's fundraiser and for all the support you've given Rob and Joni and Hope and Zachary and the family over these past couple of years. We're about to wrap up, and after we do, we invite you, if you want, to stick around and just unmute yourself to say a quick hello to Rob and his family before they sign off. This has been an hour of optimism and of life. I want to give the last official words to Tony Kushner and his closing lines from the play Angels in America. He could have written it for our moment, for this event, for Rob, for the Cleveland Clinic, or for our wishes as we look to the future. From Angels in America. The world only spins forward. We will be citizens. The time has come. By now, you are fabulous creatures, each and every one. And I bless you. More life. The great work begins. Thank you for being with us.